Hey everybody, welcome to another Cricut tutorial. Today we're going to show you how to do monograms. They look really complicated, but I promise you, super duper easy. The first thing that you do is you're going to go to any of your favorite font websites. I like defont.com, but there's like 1,001 fonts. You can check Etsy as well. But I like defont because everything's free, which is nice. And you're going to download a monogram font. These work best just because they're a little bit cleaner. They have the right swirls, things like that. So I'm going to show you two different types of monograms that you can do. One is way easy, one's just a little bit more complicated, but neither one is too tough. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is open a text box and type in your letters. I'll just use my own initials. So with the monogram, you always want your last initial in the center. So my initials being CYB, we're going to type CBY. Always use capitals. It will look cleaner. It will look nicer. The next thing you need to do is change your font. So you go up to the top left corner here where it says font and select that and open it. I'm going to go to my system fonts, and I know that my fonts were named monogram of some sort. So I'm just going to look up Mon-O, and I'm going to start with the one that's just called monograms. So when you click on that, it's going to change your letters down here to these little circles. I'm going to make these really big so that you guys can see them really well on the screen here. Now you can see this is not at all what we want this to look like. Not even close. So, pretty simple way to fix it, but it is a little bit time consuming, but I will show you how. The first thing you have to do is you're going to need to ungroup your letters. So up in the upper right here, just click ungroup. And we're going to move the B and the Y over into this corner to get them out of our way. Now this is where we're going to use the slice feature. Slice feature is really easy to use once you know how to use it, and remember you can only select 2 items to slice. So the first thing that we need to do to start our slice is to open a shape, and I'm going to use a square. Now for this font, we know that we need a C here, so if you can see where my mouse is, we need a C on this side and a Y on this side. So we want to make sure that when we use our slice that we're slicing off everything except the C on the right. For me, I like to line mine up just to the line right here where you see how the edge of that C is. We're just going to line it up to the white, and then I'm going to draw a box around both pieces. That has selected both the circle C's and the square. Down in the lower right hand corner, if you click the word slice, it's going to pull apart your C. We only need to keep this one, so we can delete all of these extra ones by just selecting them and clicking on the X. I'm going to move our C way over here so it's out of the way, and I'm going to go ahead and do the Y next. Now remember, for the Y, we need the one over here on the right side. So we're going to do that same thing with the shape. We're just going to open a square, and it's going to be a little bit slow. We're going to open a square, and we're just going to line it up with that little lip right here. Oops, too far. Right there. And we're going to do the same thing. Draw a box around both. Click slice, and it's going to, again, pull apart our word. We don't need anything but this Y, so we can go ahead and just delete all these other pieces, and we'll move him up into the top corner. Move the B down. This is our last thing that we have to slice. Now, because we've sliced these with this little edge, we're only going to need this middle part of the B. So, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to slice. We're going to get a square, and we are going to line this one up now with the white edge so that it gets rid of that black edge. And it's okay if you have a little bit of black left over. It won't matter. It might make it easier to line it up, but it won't matter. So we're going to go ahead and slice off that B. Now for this one, you won't have to open a second square. You can if you want, but we can just delete this, and we'll pull that away, and we'll delete this extra B. Now see, we missed a little bit of that. That's okay, because when we put the C over it, we can overlap it a little. But we still have a perfectly good piece of square to use, so we can just use that. And all we got to do is just line it up. And I'm going to move it over just a little bit more. And we're going to go ahead and select both and slice. And we're going to pull off the parts that we don't need. And just go ahead and delete them because they're in the way. And now we can pull down our other letters. So we're going to pull down our Y, and all you have to do is just line it up with that. And then same with the C. Now again, the C's got a little overlap, so we can just overlap it just a little so that it lines up. And you can see I kind of missed on that one, so just readjust. And there you go. And you just play with this until it's about where you think it should be. That looks pretty good. So now you have your monogram, but you want it to cut all in one circle. So you need to select all three pieces. You can draw the circle around, you can draw a square around it, or click on each piece and hold Control as you click, and click Attach, and then click Weld. Weld is going to get rid of all your cut lines, and it's going to turn it into one piece. So when we cut it, it'll be one piece. We'll do two of them so that you guys can see. So there's the one, that's the circle monogram. The second one has all the pretty swirls to it. So we're going to do another one, and I'll show you that one. This one, again, you're going to open a text box and type in your initials, first, last, middle, and we'll go back up to our system fonts. And again, you're just going to search monogram, because we know that it's called monogram. And all I'm going to do is collect, this one is called monogram KKSC. And all we have to do here, this one's pretty easy to work with. You're going to ungroup your letters again, and you're going to take your center letter, which is your last name, and you just want to make it bigger. As big as you want. I think that's pretty good. And then you're going to take your middle initial, and you're just going to size it to about where you want it, and you're just going to put it on your B. And I'm going to have mine attached just a little bit so that it'll all cut as one piece. You can not attach them, you can leave them, you know, spaced out, however you guys want to do it. But most of the time with a monogram, you're going to have some touching. And then you're going to make your C. You're going to size your C to whatever size you want that. I think those look pretty bad. Looks a little big. Let's see. That looks relatively even. This is where you can use your grid lines to sort of line them up a little bit better. I can see that my C is clearly, whoops, and then I grab my B. You can see that my C is quite a bit bigger. You can look at the sizing too right here. So I know that this one's about 1 inch tall. This one's going to be a little bit bigger, so I'm just going to reduce it a little bit. There, now they're the same size. So now this is where you kind of move it around so that it's touching your B. And you can move all your letters around until you like the way they sit. I think the Y just looks... The Y is supposed to hang down a little bit lower than the C, which I think is what's throwing me off a little bit. There we go. That looks pretty good. So as you can see, all my letters are touching. Now remember over here, we selected all our letters. We're going to do the same thing with this. So we're going to click on that, hold Control, click the B, and click the C. You're going to click Attach, and then you're going to click Weld. So now we have both of our monograms. I'll cut them out so you guys can see. I'm going to do them in a gold. It's pretty easy to do. The biggest thing is just to take your time, learn your sizing. But when we click Make It, you'll see that it's going to cut them just as we had them on the screen because we welded them and we attached them. Now, I don't like how close it's cutting these two. So remember, if you don't like how close something's going to cut, just move it over a little bit. You can do that right on this screen. And you can even, if you know that you have an empty space on your mat or something, or you're using some vinyl that's maybe a scrap piece, you can move your letters and your pictures wherever you want. Now mine, I know, has a cut out of it from something else I did earlier, so I'm going to move my monograms around to match that. So what you do is you just put your vinyl on your mat, and that'll tell you where your grid lines are going to line up. So mine's at about 4 inches, so this should be just fine to cut right where I have it. So we're going to go ahead and hit Make It and continue, and then I will show you it cutting. Okay, we're ready to cut. Make sure you have your settings correct. So I'm going to have mine on vinyl. I used my pen earlier, so make sure that's closed. You're just going to load your mat. Make sure you get it under your tabs. Hit load. And remember I said how I have that little cutout? So I have that. So I moved my stuff over to here to cut. We're going to go ahead and click the Go button, which is the little Cricut logo. And it should go ahead and cut our monograms. The first one it's going to cut looks like it's going to be the circle monogram. And then it's going to go into the swirly font monogram. I'm going to let it go ahead and cut those out for you guys. And when we come back, we will go ahead and weed them, and I'll show you how they came out. Okay, we're going to go ahead and weed these really quick. The nice thing is this one's going to be a really fast weed, and all you want to do is just pop out the center letters, so you're going to get the middle part, because we're keeping the circle. So we'll just pull out these little middle things. You want to make sure that the center of your letters, so like your B's, your O's, things like that, do stay intact. And we're just going to pop out these. The nice thing is, too, if you wanted, you could use these little letters, these extra pieces, on something else if you wanted to. And then all you have to do is just pop the back off, which is this big piece. And we should have one circle monogram in gold. Okay, we've finished weeding. So we have our swirly monogram. And we have our circle monogram. I hope this helped you guys learn how to make monograms. Like I said, they look more intimidating than they are. Practice makes perfect, so just keep trying and you guys will get it, I promise. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to see any other videos, absolutely please make requests. I love to help you guys learn how to use your Cricut and all the fun other crafts that we can do with it. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos all the time. I also make sure that you do click that bell because it will let you know when you get a new video. I hope you guys all enjoyed this and have a great day.